Robert C Jagger, and I'll spell it ROBERTCARR, Jagger, JAGGER.
Mm-hmm. So your middle name is Carl.
Yeah, middle name is Carr. Mm-hmm. There is a reason for that.
What is it?
And the reason is that when I came into the world, my mother left me at a creche, and I never saw her again. So I was adopted by the Jagger people. Not a couple of years later. I was only 2 months old when they found me in the creche.
I'm so sorry.
But never found the mother. She never come back. She went to this place where they leave children to go shopping, come back. Mind you, that's 1925.
I'm sorry?
1925.
You born in 1925?
Yeah.
What month? What is your birthday?
August 2nd.
August 2nd, 1925.
Well, what they had to do was work out those 2 months. They found me in October the 2nd. So they put us back to that. So it's quite interesting because at this stage we've got a book written by this lady and I could give her a name I'm trying to think of her name. Sue from Levin now, her name is, I'm trying to think, that's the trouble with when you get old.
Yeah, right.
I'll get it in a minute.
Yes. So now you are 94-year-old.
I'll be 94 this coming August.
Yeah, coming August.
93.
93. Yeah. Wow, you look very young.
Yeah.
I never thought that you are over 80.
No, that's what somebody told me.
What is the secret?
Well, I've been very good with people. I love people.
Yeah.
And that is, I think, is the best. If you have an argument, try and, if you can't settle it, just let it go.
So good relationship makes you happy and healthy.
That's right.
Yeah. Where were you born?
Well, that's something I don't know. I was found in Wellington.
Wellington?
Yeah.
Oh.
So it was at a creche, you know.
And you don't know your father either?
No.
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 Oh.
But I was adopted by very nice people, and they were my...
So tell me about those people who adopt your Jagger family.
Well, my father was a cheesemaker, and my mother used to help with domestic work. In some of the big places she'd go to, where there's a big sheep farm or something, people had servants, and she would be doing chores, that sort of thing. And then she started working for her auntie at the factory. We had a cook there. So my mother, she met my father at the where she was working for her auntie. So that was their start in marriage. My father died. He smoked a lot, and he had a very bad lungs. Yeah. We tried to ask him to knock off, but funny enough, silliest things, because he smoked, Bob smoked too.
You did?
Yeah. And I gave it up. I went, I was in a party, and they said, oh, we're going to have a concert, and we want you to sing. So I tried to sing with this choir. I was making such a mess of it. I went home, stopped smoking
Very good. When did you stop smoking?
in 1970.
Okay.
30, well, more than that.
Yeah. It's almost 50 years.
Yes,
That's a good thing to do.
that helped me a lot.
So it could be a very difficult life
Yeah.
because you don't even know who your father was, and
No.
then your mom just left you.
Yeah.
So how was it growing up?
Well, we did. Funny enough, my sister was adopted from a different. They wanted a girl, and then after having her, they had one of their own, my brother, and he's passed away now, and he's quite a lot younger than me. Oh, that's 6 years younger than me. And my sister was very close. She was very good, but she died with cancer. I missed her a lot.
So it's so lucky that you were adopted. You were adopted by your father Jagger, Mr. Jagger.
Yes, right.
And he did good to you.
Oh, yes, he was wonderful. My mother was stern, but I got on all right because I was a sickling. They got me out of that place that I went to, and, made all the difference.
Yeah. Tell me about the school you went through.
Well, I went to school at Rongo Kakaka, which is Rongokoka.
Could you pronounce it again?
Rongo Kokaka.
Longo Kokaka.
Yeah.
And
Just out of Ekahuna.
yeah. And when did you finish your school?
I was 1939. And I enlisted for the Second World War at the age of 43, but not the age of 43. I was 18 in 1943. And of course, my parents were objected to that, and I can remember, at the time I was disappointed, but then on the other hand, I was in essential work. I followed my father in cheese making, and of course, they went after the Korean War, and I realised that no wonder they didn't want me to go.
Yeah. So your father was really nice man to you.
Yeah, absolutely.
So when did you join the military?
1951 I joined, but I didn't get over to Korea till 1952.
So you joined the military army in 1951.
Yeah.
And when? What month?
I'm thinking it must have been about February, roughly, about this time.
Where did you get the basic military training?
We went to Linton Camp, basic training at Linton. Quite a few weeks there, I can't remember now, quite a while. And then we went to Waihuru, and we did our core training there on 25-pounders and signals and all that, all the things that go with it, engineering, they had to learn how to look after mines in the field.
So more specific kind of training.
Yeah.
Right.
And we learnt more when we got over there, But the Korean War was nasty, and we weren't in the thick of it, but the early chaps were. We still had our upsets and things like that. And I did a lot of laying lines, although they used radio. It was a better idea to use lines of information, but they'd blow out, and of course we had different sections where we had phones that we could ring in. We couldn't get, the line was out, so we'd have to retrace. And I did quite a lot of work on 355.
Oh, hold on. So, when did you leave for Korea?
Oh, when I left for Korea, I went on a flying plane, teal flying plane, from Evans Bay, Wellington, and that was 1952.
Mm-hmm. To where?
Iwakuni, I think it is.
Iwakuni in Japan?
Yeah.
And from Japan, when did you go to Korea?
About 4 days after.
Ah.
And I think it was about May, I think.
Mm. So where did you arrive in Korea?
Well, it was quite hot in Japan too, very hot.
But where did you arrive in Korea? Was it Seoul, or did you go to ship, or?
We flew in by plane, and then I don't think they took us by ship, I can't think of the base camp now.
Busan, Incheon, or Seoul, Gimpo?
It was more in Seoul.
So you fly from Japan to Korea?
Yeah.
Oh, so Seoul or Gimpo? What's a Seoul?
Gimpo.
Gimpo.
Yeah, that's right. Gimpo. But we went on the smaller planes, but we were given leave after a long time, and when we had leave, they took us to the big planes where they were shipping guns and all that sort of thing on these big planes.
Yep.
What did they call them?
DC-3?
Yeah.
C-3?
Big
plane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't think of it.
It's okay.
Yeah.
So when you arrived in Korea, were you there or did you go to somewhere else?
We had to change. Immediately we got there, we had battle dress on. And we had to change into summer gear. And then 4 days after, we were flown on a Lodestar, a smaller plane. And that was interesting.
To go where?
We stayed, when we left Wellington, just jumping back a bit,
Yes.
we stopped off at Guam overnight.
Yes.
No, we went through Port Moresby. Port Moresby is, we stopped off there for a few hours, and then we went on to Iwakuni. And then we stopped on the way to Guam. I can still remember the mosquitoes.
So where did you go from Seoul? You went to Hill 355?
No. I went as we all picked out different ones. See, some went to the guns, and I went to signals. But before I went to signals, I became an ammunition number. Anyway, after a while, I think they thought, perhaps being so short, I wouldn't get the heavy stuff to throw in the back of especially GMC, American. We supported the Americans. Yeah.
So where did you go?
We just went to different places like Uijeongbu.
Uijeongbu?
Yeah. And
you went to Hill 355?
Yeah, when I took on I had Jeep 4, and that was, I was under a signal sergeant he was in charge, and he'd direct us all. There's quite a few of us had to carry some of the, had a trailer, carry some of the gear, and then at night, sometimes we're given a job to go to the OP. So, and the OP changed around a bit, but in the end, it stayed pretty stationary in a couple of places, 355 and 250, I think it was. That's just my memories got to me.
So, what was your unit?
161 battery.
161 battery.
Yeah.
And what was your specialty?
Well, my specialty was like ammunition carrier, and then after that I went to Jig 4, and I had the Jeep under the authority of the SIG sergeant. So I was just an ordinary gunner, but I was the...
You were driving too?
Yes, I drove the Willie's Jeep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And were there any dangerous moments that you might have lost your life?
Two of the dangerous moments was, it's quite laughable too, but we were on 355, that was the worst one, and we were getting shelled, and shrapnel was coming in, so we had to, I thought the best way is to die, and I dived into a drain, and it was covered in mud. But that's just one of those things, you don't know whether it was going to come anywhere or not. But it was quite noisy, you know, like, yeah. So, and I was on a hill there going to the toilet once, and the shells come in, and had to get out of there.
What did you do in Hill 355? Did you fight there, or what did you do?
No, I just laid lines, and so that people could speak from the battery.
Yes.
Mainly from the battery, from the command post. So you had the battery further, you know, you had so many places that there were, and then we had, we were also, at night time we were put on the exchange, and that was, you know, you could listen in if you wanted, but it's just officers rounding up whatever they want to do. Perhaps when an officer wanted to do a chaff of change, he got sick of it, and they'd take him up there. Another job I had was, and the war started to die down a bit, they changed the officers, and I was given the job of taking one that was going home, and another one would take his place coming back. So that sort of jobs I had, and I had quite a few of those. I even had a chap, Officer King, and he, marvellous, he wanted me to take him around where he had been in charge in different parts of, you know, the firing part of where the guns were, and he wanted to go where he was operating the gun sites. And so I had the job of taking him around before he went home. And it's sad to say that he went home and he went round a place in Hokitika out that way. He was a ranger, you know, in the bush, but he also had this big wagon, and and he got too close to the lake's edge, and of course he got drowned. But they put a monument up for him on his where he had passed away, and they got to and honoured him, you know.
What was the most difficult thing during your service in Korea?
I think the difficult thing was the cold.
How cold was it?
Oh, about 26 below Fahrenheit. Yeah.
Minus 26.
Yeah.
Did you have enough clothes or equipment?
I
or
did.
What happened?
We were a bit lucky. The first lot went over, they had battle dress. And just what they came in, you know. Well, they had battle dress, and then some of them got stuff from the English, and they had some little jackets, so they got hold of them. You know, and then they got these nylon big puffy.
Parker.
Yeah, parkers. Yeah, big parkers. And it was lovely, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were lucky.
What was the most rewarding moments during your service? Were you there when armistice was signed?
Yeah, I was there. 1953.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that was it was good. We did get with the Australians too. That they were good blokes, you know. One of the things that I did, I don't know whether anyone else has said, but I got on very well with people, all the sergeants and even officers. You know, I don't know, just because I was probably a lot older than them.
Yeah.
That,
So you were mature.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
And when did you leave Korea?
1953. 54.
54?
Wait on.
No, 53.
Yeah. 54.
You there 2 years?
Yeah, just, I was in the thing 2 years and 90 days altogether. So 90 days, it was a bit more than 90 days. It was just under 2 years, and then the rest was New Zealand.
Right, so you left Korea. When did you leave Korea?
54.
54.
March 54.
March, okay.
Yeah.
And
We did up the place, you know. We serviced all the guns and cleaned everything up, and you know, all that sort of thing.
after the armistice.
Yeah.
Did you have a chance to work with the Korean people during the time?
Yeah, I met a lot of them. When they came, when we first went there, we were shifting a lot. We were moving around, and we'd have our cooks would go ahead and get things ready. And our mama's father used to be have a pack on their back a lot. The mama's sons but the old fathers and that, and they'd hang around for a bit of food and that. I always used to give them mine. I always thought of them, and I met a lot. We met a lot. They were thrashing. I've got a photo of thrashing the rice by hand. You know, all that sort of thing they did. And we stayed overnight with the crowd in Korea, and you couldn't beat them. They were wonderful people. Yeah. I found them really great. Anything I had to do with them. And of course, I've been back twice for a look-see.
Twice?
Twice I've been
When
back.
did you go back to Korea?
The last one was, I try to think, the last one, I can't. I know one was 94,
Mm.
and then I went again, it must have been
2000?
2000 odd, yeah.
Yeah.
I was the only one from New Zealand the second time.
2010 or before that?
Before that,
Okay.
yeah.
And tell me about it. When you see Korea again, tell me the details. Describe in detail.
Yeah. Well, the first time I went back, we saw a little bit of the old Seoul, a small amount of, but they'd built around it. But the second time I went back, it was so great. It was absolutely marvellous. The work they'd put in, and especially in the airport, and that really was wonderful how they'd done that, had that going so beautifully done. And we went in for walks up the street, and people were nice, talk to people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Didn't know the language, but we seemed to get on all right. I felt sorry for them when I first went over.
Well, tell me about it. Why?
They were living in shacks and car cases, and straw, or will it be straw from the rice?
Mm.
And it wasn't easy at all. And how they had to put up with all that, I don't know how they did it. It was terrible.
What did you think about it when you saw people living like that condition?
I thought that's why we were there to change it. We were trying.
Mm.
We did a lot. And I think the biggest time I had was staying with them, and I think it was unofficial. But we were running late, and it was getting dark, and the roads were pretty bad. I mean,
Yeah.
you were only allowed to do about 30 miles an hour, and and in this wet season, it was all mud, and then in the summer, it was all dust,
Mm-hmm.
and then it was very icy. In fact, some of the Koreans even dug big things into the side of hills, and they saved their ice for the summer. Amazing what they did, to exist. They have their ice out to sell, in the summer. But they had it in a cave, they dug the...
So you felt very sorry.
Oh, yes, much so. I did really think about it, and when somebody said, well, would you go to war again? I said, no, I wouldn't. The reason is that I saw in the final, how many people were killed was absolutely dreadful.
Yeah.
And even the North Koreans, the number of them that were killed, and the way they were looked after by the North Korea was terrible. I mean, they were eating dandelions. They were scraping the inside of the bark off the trees to get any substance at all. And they never got any help. And the worst part about it, I have a book. There was a book, and they had this they wanted to marry. They wanted to marry, and of course they couldn't, and they escaped, but they never ever got together again. But they went through the Chinese up in north, Chinese over the river. I know it was the Yellow River, and the Chinese was taking them and at a cost. But if they got caught, they would be in trouble anyway. So, yeah.
So when you go back to Korea, see it's been changed. You didn't see any longer the people living in a condition like in 1950s.
No.
How did you feel about it?
I was so pleased. Yeah. So pleased to see that they had come. Yeah, the South Korea, they did a mighty job for bringing it. And I don't know, the Americans, they lost a lot of young fellas.
Yeah, 37,000 of them.
Yeah, terrible.
Terrible. 2 million Korean people were killed
Yes,
during the war.
It was terrible.
Yeah. So we don't want to, promote the war. We don't, but we need to learn from it, right?
That's right.
Yeah. So, Bob, why don't we teach about this case of Korean War in New Zealand? Why we don't teach?
I'm so upset about that. I was talking the other day to one of the veterans, and I said to Jack Kirkwood, Jack anyway, I was talking to Jack about it, and I said, it's not right. I was listening to history on the TV, and there's hardly a word about Korea. You hear them bring up all the latest ones, and Korea was left out. I said, they've forgotten about us.
Yeah.
Just like that. You really did upset me. And that's why I wouldn't like to go and see them killed again.
Yeah. That upset me too. That's why we are doing this, to making a curricular resources for those teachers.
Yes.
Could you read it?
Yeah.
What is it?
Korea Place, Teaching Word of History. Well, that's what I'm looking at all the time at home.
So Korea's place in teaching world history, right?
Yeah.
My foundation published it for the teachers in the United States.
Yeah.
But we want to publish the same thing for New Zealand teachers so that they can teach about the war you fought for.
Oh, yes, it's really good, that.
Yeah, could you show that to the camera? Turn it around. And do you want to see, we can make another one like this for New Zealand teachers?
Yes.
Do you want to see that?
Yeah, I think it'll be good.
Yeah. Isn't that nice? So that they can teach about the war that you fought for, right?
That's right.
Yeah. So that's what I am trying to do, okay?
Yeah, you're doing a great job.
Yeah. You brought the book.
Yeah.
Could you, what do you want to show me?
I'll see if I can find the chap.
So what are you looking at now?
Korea was.
Hold it like that, yes. So Korea was completely devastated.
Yeah.
Yes.
This is after the war, of course.
And now Korea is the 11th largest economy in the world.
Beautiful. You got it?
Yes. Another picture?
Let's see if I can find this. I'm trying to.
By the way, what is that book? Could you show me the cover?
That's me.
You wrote it?
No, I had it written by a lady called, trying to think of her name. Completely blank.
The title is Korea, and the subtitle is A Kiwi Gunner's Story.
Yeah.
And Sue Cockhill.
Cockle. Yeah.
Cockhill.
That's right.
Yeah, Sue Cockhill.
Yeah, she's the one that
She's
wrote.
the one who wrote it?
Yeah.
For you?
Yeah.
Huh. Did you pay for her?
Yes.
Oh. So, what is the story?
It's about my time in Korea.
Your time in Korea. Anything you want to tell me from the book?
Here's the rice one. The rice. I think you can see it. Which one is it? That one there.
Yeah. What is that?
Those flashing rice. That's where I stayed.
Ah. So they are harvesting the rice.
Yeah.
When was it?
Oh, I couldn't say.
These South Korean people were
Will it be in the autumn?
threshing rice on a table in Uijeongbu, a village north of Seoul. One of the two soldiers towering over the Koreans is George Cannon. We refer to him as not the son of a gun. I am to the right of George, so you are there.
Yeah.
Wow. So you all those remember, right?
Yeah.
And now Korea is completely different.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Are you proud of your service?
Oh, yes. Very much so. Yeah. So I'm just trying to find the chap that came out here. It must be here. And I'll show you. Oh, it must be this one. Yongdong, this one.
Mm-hmm.
He's the guy that came out to New Zealand.
Yes.
I gave him a book when I went over there.
Park Young-gyu.
Yeah,
Yes, he was the ambassador.
that's right.
Yes.
So he has got a book. Well,
Okay.
I gave him one. So,
Got it.
and he showed me all round Seoul.
Mm-hmm.
Wonderful chap, eh?
Yeah. Very good. Thank you.
That was, I wanted to show. And my people are there somewhere.
But Bob, next year will be 70th anniversary of the Korean War.
Yeah.
You know that.
Yeah.
Do you have any special message to the Korean people? Look at me and say, do you have any special message to the Korean people?
That keep up the good work that they're doing. We're very proud of them.
Do you like Korea now?
Yeah. I go back again for a visit.
Yeah.
But of course, I think they're probably done with me.
Yeah. See, this is why I think we need to teach about the war
Yeah.
fought by the New Zealand soldiers, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll make sure that this interview will be listened in the New Zealand school.
Oh, it'll be lovely.
Yeah, and then we'll try to make a curricular resources book for the teachers, okay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And will we get a chance
Oh yeah.
to see it?
Yeah, yeah. If we make it, you will have it. What is Korea to you now? You didn't know much about Korea, right?
No, we didn't know where it was.
And now, what is Korea to you personally, Bob?
Well, it's part of our life. It really is.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, as soon as I see a Korean, I can go up to them and say, pleased to meet you, you know. And most of them are pretty good there. That are over here. There's a lot over here now. And we can, you know, they're always charming people. Absolutely. I mean, you couldn't get nicer people.
Sir, I respect you, your philosophy of life.
Yeah.
You went to a little bit unfortunate beginning, but you met very nice father, Jagger, Mr. Jagger.
Yeah.
And yet you grown up and you did wonderful thing for the Korean people during the war. You fought for them.
That's right.
And now you are 94-year-old man.
Yeah.
You look like a 64-year-old man. And you've been nice to many people.
Yeah.
You made a point that good relationship is the most important thing.
Yeah.
I think we have a very good relationship between you and me now,
Yeah, absolutely.
and between you and New Zealand and Korea.
Yeah, and your first name is
Jong-woo,
John.
Woo. Jong-woo.
Oh, John-oo.
Yes.
John-oo.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's really great that you're able to do this sort of work. And it's what I've been wondering about. Perhaps it'll get the message. And we're very upset. Jack Kirkland would have liked to have been here. He did put in for it.
Mm.
He was one of the originals, but he did put in for it, but he never heard back. I suppose they can only take certain ones and that.
Bob, you did wonderful thing, and I hope that you can keep up your good work and good relationship so that you can go over 104-year-old.
Yeah.
Yes.
That'd
And
be great.
Bob, and I will get back to you if we make the educational material for our children and
Yeah.
teachers. I'll make sure that I will get back to you.
Because because I've been married a few times, I got married in the first one. We only married a few years. She's passed away now, and she was only 58. Then I married again, and I stayed 30 years with second wife, and she died, and then I got married again.
Wow.
And 17 years I had,
Wow.
and we couldn't have had a nicer person.
That's good.
They were really great.
Mm.
You know, I think of, I have a daughter from the first marriage, and I've got grandchildren.
Great.
So I've got 2 granddaughters and a grandson, and now I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 greats.
You are very successful.
And then my wife that I married for 17 years, she's left all her grandchildren, and they look after me
Oh, that's good.
like a king.
You are very lucky and happy man. Yeah, I think God blessed you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you again, Bob. Talking to me.
Yeah.
And we made a good relationship today, and I will let you know.
Jono.
Yeah.
It's good.
Yep.
Good. I hope you can get something out of my way of thinking. I really think that these people that go in as war people, they need to have a good understanding of people. If they haven't got that, they should think about. You get some people that get quite nasty about the council, for argument's sake. They spend too much money. But there's progress. They don't do that in Korea. They go ahead and get the damn job done.
Done. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we all made it together.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, very good.
Thank you.
Yeah.